Well, starting off, one of the major causes of poverty in Uganda is the issue of illicit financial flows. Tax justice activists report that Uganda loses close to 2 trillion shillings in illicit financial flows. That explains to us how big this means. Now, to bring this conversation to context, we're joined by Mr. Allan Muhereza, the team leader of Youth for Tax Justice Network Uganda. Good to have you this afternoon.
Thank you.
First, for starters, where does this money go?
Illicit financial flows, these are monies that are either illegally earned and transferred, or legally earned but illegally transferred, or illegally earned and illegally transferred. So it could be any of those three areas where you lose money. So you could have illegal activities and monies leave the country. You could have legitimate businesses, but people still move monies out illegally so that they don't pay taxes. Or you could even have illegal money that has been earned through illegal activities, but it is cleaned and then it's still taken out of the country. So you lose money in those three ways. So in a nutshell, that's illicit financial flows.
What are you doing as tax activists to fight the illicit financial flows?
Of course, the first thing we're doing is that we want governments to close the loopholes, first in our tax laws that allow big chunks of monies to leave untaxed, either through mischaracterization of transactions through commercial dealings. And then we also need governments to close loopholes that have been exploited in double taxation agreements, where we find that some jurisdictions give next to zero rate taxes, and then multinational businesses use some of those agreements to evade taxation. And then, of course, we would like people to participate, young people to participate in, because taxation is a political issue. It's you can't have a tax without having Parliament pass the tax. So it's also an issue of representation. So if we can have more voices, of reasonable voices in places where tax policy and tax laws are made, then we can see and fight illicit financial flows.
We are in a season of political campaign where usually illicit financial flows flourish. How do we bring the youth on board to make sure that they actually fight the vice in the wake of the political season?
Well, we are going to engage, all youth should engage in political processes, either actively as voters or people that offer themselves to lead, and lead on making tax systems fair and just to not just the young people, but also to the women and other vulnerable groups. And also we need to engage political parties. As Youth for Tax Justice Network, we are going to be engaging political parties to make sure that fair taxation is a core political ideology in terms of if you're to promise me better education, better healthcare, social security and all that, you should be able to also show me where that money is going to come from and how you will be able to raise that money without really affecting the people that you're supposed to help. So it is a conversation that we want to have with political parties. Today we had a meeting and invited some young political actors to have this conversation, especially now that we are starting a political season, that we should know where our money is coming from. That is going, if you're promising development, we should know where the money to pay for it is going to come from. And we've suggested a few areas where we can plug the loopholes and then have that money. Then secondly, we're going to engage official structures that represent young people, like national youth councils, both here at a national level and at a regional level, to make sure that they are the leading voice of young people when it comes to fighting illicit financial flows and also domestic resource mobilization. And also we intend to build their capacities to understand these issues. Most people want us to believe that taxation is very complex, but it is not. So we intend to demystify the entire concept of illicit financial flows, the entire concept of domestic resource mobilization, that if you're to be able to finance your development, you should be able to finance it from your taxes, not broad money, not aid, not anything. Because
you can start from within.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you so much. That is Allan Muhereza, the team leader of the Youth for Tax Justice Network.